I'm afraid of some photographers that put themselves in one genre box. Like someday they will get extremely burnt out. It's just
Hmm.
inevitable if you do it all the time. And what are you going to do after that? So
Yeah, definitely. I've been thinking lately about that too, actually, is that like the idea, at least this is totally my hot take of the day, but like in my head now, it's like genre is kind of like dead to me a little bit. And it kind of
uh,
sounds dramatic, but like just the idea of like I call myself an outdoor photographer, nature photographer, sure, but like the idea of genre is just kind of like withering away in my psyche of just like focusing on a certain subject or set of subjects because now I'm doing like cityscapes and like man-made objects, buildings, architecture, stuff with like natural history. I'm incorporating into my work, and it's like it's evolving in a certain way that's been very rewarding. But like I just don't feel like I identify in the same way I did a couple years ago. Because back then I'd
yeah.
just be like, I closed off those walls. I built up those walls and closed myself off, like saying like I would never photograph a fence that someone made in my shot. You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
like a footpath and like on the trail. I don't know, like just anything like that. Like if it has the hand of man in it, I don't want it in my shot. But now I'm just like not really like a worry and care, but like I'm more interested in doing that now, I guess more too.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that. You're just kind
Hmm.
of shooting what you want to shoot, and with that, you'll be happy. So, um,
Yeah, definitely. I'm not looking behind I'm not like thinking to myself like behind the camera like is this a photo like Ryan would take? You know, I'm not really thinking about it. It's more like I want to take that photo, whatever it may be. I just like I don't care.
uh,
I just don't have the concern about that like label I guess anymore for it too.
well, I have a similar story about this time last year when I was looking at buying like a wildlife lens. I was like, oh, I shouldn't buy this. I'm a landscape photographer. Like I was like
Yeah.
putting myself in a box for no reason. And now I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I like wildlife more than landscapes now. And maybe it's just because I'm going through a phase. Like I'm shooting what I want to shoot, and right now it's mostly wildlife. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's just you should never put yourself in a box because if I had put myself in a box and hadn't started looking into wildlife, I never would have uh, taken the photos I have this year. And maybe I would have completely quit photography or something because I got burnt out. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I remember your like initial like hesitation about that too. Is you're like I like the lens, and then you just like bit the bug and you like kept
hmm
improving it. And like I remember like your earliest bird photos compared to now are like a completely different person, honestly. Like it's
thank
just
you.
so you've no like you've improved so much from that moment. You know, just getting that acquiring that lens and everything too. And it's been crazy to see that growth there too.
hmm Well, I just probably the reason why I've really gotten into wildlife is I just don't feel challenged with landscape photography anymore. I'm not like that's not like a cocky thing. I just like it's not like the same chase I get from like a wildlife photography, or the same
Hmm.
adventurous feeling.
Right.
hmm
Yeah, it's the same way I mean, I've pretty much always been with nature, like photography is that, I've never like settled upon one subject. I thought about it before. I'm like, but then it's like I'll get a few good days of just doing straight like landscapes or long exposure. I'm like, okay,
hmm
I'll just do this from now on. And then I remember I'll see like a really cool bird or go chase it, and I'll get some like frame filling shots. And then I'll be like, man, wildlife photography is great. I should do this from now on, like forever. And
Yep.
like I just can't, like I said, I just can't fit like it's like creative mindset. Like I just can't fit like myself in that box. Like
hmm
it just does not work. Like I would be so it sounds stupid because like I love birds and bird photography, but like I'd be so miserable if that's all I did
Yep.
was that. Just because I'm looking at this beautiful sunset in the prairie and I'm like, man, that'd be a great shot. So like every
hmm
day is like a different mood for me, and it always has been really. So like
Yeah.
I said lately, it's been more of like incorporating man-made stuff, cityscapes, and trying out new things that way too. So it's just like a different switch I'm flipping on, I guess.
Thank you so much for watching the All Outdoors Photography Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the video version on YouTube as well. You can